Shortly after I got married, my father-in-law pulled out an old digital reverb unit from his storage and traded it to me for a pair of CD players. I was blown away. The sound quality was just so amazing. I was able to send all kinds of instruments to it, and it didn't muddy the mix. And that's the same type of sensation that I got when I used the H9000 by Eventide. My name is Alex Solano from Southern California, and I'm a music producer and Dolby Atmos mixer. I work with a variety of international artists and music producers from all around the world. And my goal is that they are satisfied with their mixes every time. Part of my mixing process is to discover the sonic signature of every song. You can't just take a template or a preset and apply it from song to song. If it's a different key, a different artist, male or female, if it's a different genre, you have to sculpt each song individually. And part of me providing commercial sounding mixes is the space of depth and width in the mix. So when we updated our studio to Dolby Atmos, it was really important to use pieces of equipment that connected via Dante. This is one of the appeals that drew me to Eventide, is the versatility and flexibility of its routing via Dante. With Dante, I'm able to route 32 channels out of Pro Tools to the H9000 and bring them back in as hardware inserts. This offloads all the DSP that I would use using reverbs and delays to a single dedicated box that just sounds amazing. The emote control panel stores all the settings so I can easily jump between session and session, and it recalls all the reverb settings, parameters, and delays that I'm using from song to song. To have this type of versatility and sound quality is just a modern beauty. So in this session, we're using the H9000 as our effects send and return, and then we have it assigned to all these screen channels. So I'm basically using 16 digital reverbs from one unit. These are all hardware inserts and 4 banks. The first bank, which is effects chain A, has 4 reverbs, which are being used by the percussions and the drums. Effects chain B has 2 reverbs, a vintage delay, and a micro pitch, being used for instruments such as guitars and pianos. Effects chain C are my vocal effects, so these are reverbs and the micro pitch. And then effects chain D can be a variety of things. It can be a mixture of delays, tap echoes, and dimension D. And whenever I jump between mixing sessions, this updates the settings from that mixing session on the hardware. So let's check out this song right here. Without the vocals, let's just have a listen to what we got. So for the drums, we're using effects number 2 and effects number 3 on the snares. And these are going to these 2 reverbs. So it's going to an SP 2016 using the vintage plate and a hall reverb. So this is what it would sound like without those effects engaged. We can go ahead and bypass those. And that right there just gives it so much depth and space without cluttering the clarity of the drums. Our percussions tracks are going to effects 1 and effects 2. So these are 2 types of room. The first one being a modern stereo room and the second one being a vintage plate, which is also being shared by the snare. With the percussions in place, with the reverbs in place, it just becomes part of the sound. It's not like the percussions are here and the reverb's way over there, but it's just like gluing everything together without sounding muddy. One of the tricks that I like to do on the acoustic guitars is use the micro pitch from the H3000. This gives a nice chorusing effect that's very familiar to classic records. So now let's bring in all the vocals, and the vocals again are going to all the different effects here. A combination of vintage plate, modern plate, another type of plate, and the H9000. So all together we have all the instruments going to their own effects, the drums going to separate effects, the vocals going to their separate effects, and this whole thing just sounds like one big composition. Most music producers and engineers are self-taught. They go on YouTube, they watch videos, they pick up a couple of tips and tricks. But what's important is to develop your own sonic signature. What's unique to you? What do you sound like? And what do you offer to the world? At the end of the day, it's not about what you do to the song, but it's about taking the song idea from conception to finish and ensuring it has the best possible sonic signature.